Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what we're going to do is we're going to actually go over the Zapruder film, frame by frame, and I'm going to point out things that can be seen in this film, and I'm also going to point out some things that people misinterpreted when they view the Zapruder film. Now, I've gone over the Zapruder film quite a few times and stuff, and I made videos about it being not altered and everything else like that. But I never really went through the whole film with anybody and pinpoint and show everybody what can actually be seen in this film and what this film actually tells us. Now, as you see here, and as I point out, okay, which we're going to get right into it. Okay, here is the very first frame, 001. Now, you see this building here, which I'm going to go to the next frame. This is the building here that people says is moving around in the back, so this was added to it, you know, and I already pointed out, and I showed people, and I took images of this building and stuff, and it's staying in the same location. Viewing this building here, you can see this building from Mr. Zapruder's location. Okay, so this was never added into it, but people once claimed it was things added into it, and this is one of the buildings they claim was, you know, added into the film. Now, like I said, through frames 001 to frame 132, it just basically shows the police officers come down on their motorcycles on Elm Street. We don't get to see JFK's limo turn or anything else. So it's not until frame 133 is when JFK's limo was first seen in the film. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here with frame 131. This is frame 131, and as you see here, the crowds are getting pretty well thick right in this location here and everything else. Then we go to this frame here, which is 132. Now we got 133, where JFK's limo is first seen in the film, and as you see, he's already turned down on Elm Street. Now, between these two frames, I'm also going to explain what's going on at this time. This is the last frame on side B. So, I mean on side A. So Mr. Zapruder had to turn around. Now, the reason why I said this is the last frame on side A is because Mr. Zapruder was filming his family to begin with. Remember, there's only 1,000 frames total, 500 frames on one side, 500 frames on the other side. And for the first few hundred frames in the Zapruder film, he was recording his family. He was also filming people inside the office building of his office, which was Mrs. Setzman and stuff. And then he was filming Mrs. Setzman as they were on the grassy area there of the Pelagora, which she was talking to a couple that was sitting on a bench on the other side from where they was filming. And then this part here, and then he runs out of film. Now, people don't understand that when they talk about taking frames out of this film here. They take frames out of showing Mr. Zapruder's family, him filming inside his office there, his office area of Mrs. Setzman and everything else. Filming Mrs. Setzman talking to a couple that's on a bench on the other side of the Pelagora there. And then this is the reason why they only start with this here, which shows Elm Street, which is frame 001 now. But it really wasn't 001, as I point out in my other videos of when I go into more detail on this Zapruder film. But between frame 132 and 133, there's a break in between there, as you see right here. Here's frame 132. Then we go into frame 133, and all of a sudden JFK's limo's already down on Elm Street, and actually even, remember, the follow-up car we don't see in the film. We just see the head of the motorcycles. That leads before the lead car. Remember, the lead car is still on Houston Street. The lead car actually just turning down on Houston Street when these police officers are going by. Okay, and then when Mr. Zapruder was turning around his film real quick, remember, he's still standing on a pedestal when he's turning his film around. He's switching the film around and stuff like that, and then he winds, after he gets done, he closes back up, winds it back up, and he starts aiming, and then he starts filming here, which already shows, excuse me, I got to sneeze here for a moment. Bless me. Sorry, my allergies are kicking in. I always, you know, when I want to sneeze or not like that, but anyway. Mr. JFK's limo is already turned down in Houston, on Elm Street here, and even Secret Service agents has already turned it down on Elm Street as well at the same time, because here's Houston Street right here, and here's Elm Street, so he's already turning. Now, as we're going to go view this film frame by frame, as you see, everything's looking normal here and everything else. We see the young lady right here with the white coat, red dress. Okay, she's running along the limo there, waving at him. We start seeing two people behind a tree here, as I pointed out in this film. And I show in other films where they come running around and hide right behind here. Don't know reason why. And then as you see here, we go into more of it. And then this little girl comes out here so much, and then she stops. Okay, now the reason why she stops, I guess her parents or somebody was calling for her, because, see, JFK is not shot at this time. Now everybody wants to say, oh, she heard a shot, so that's why she stopped. No, he's waving to the crowd right here. He's looking off to his right, waving to the crowd. Governor Connolly's looking off to his right and everything else like that. You know, she stops because she can only go so far away from her parents, because she was way on the other side over here. And she ran around, started following, and I guess her parents called for her. Because remember, this is a silent film, so we can't tell exactly what they're saying or what's going on at the time, but we can hear it. I mean, we can't hear it. And as you see here, Mr. Kennedy, JFK is still waving to the crowds and stuff like that. She's fully stopped. Okay, she's fully stopped right there. And how he's still waving to the crowds, and also now he's bringing his hand down right here. Okay, now people's going to sit there when they start coming this section here. They're going to say there's holes in the sign here, which there's no holes in the sign here. That's just marks in the film, like you see right here. They say there's a hole here, there's a hole here, there's a hole here, a hole here. These are gunshots going through there, but JFK there was no shots being taken at this time. And then we go to the next frame, as you notice, these holes are moving and jumping in different locations. These are just marks that's on the film. And then we go back to normal where there is no holes in the film or nothing else. So see, people want to continue on saying, oh, somebody shoots through a sign, which you're taking a guess. If you're trying to shoot through a sign, you're just taking a guess. And like right here, they'll pull up this one and they'll say, hey, here's a bullet hole right here, okay, that's in a sign. But then again, when we go to the next frame, it's completely gone. So, you know, they're going to say these and say this and say that. Now, as you're watching this part of the film, which I'll go back, okay, as you see right here also, which I'm going to point out, we see the umbrella man's top of his umbrella right here. Now, as you see, it's still in the same position. It's not moving up and down or nothing like that, as people claim. It's still in the same position. As you see, watch the frames here. See, it's just that JFK's limo is coming down further on Elm Street. Mr. Zapruder's bringing his camera down, but this umbrella is still staying in the same position. It's not waving up and down or moving up and down or anything else. So again, this is what people saying, you know, that umbrella man was there doing this. He really wasn't, because when we watch the film, that umbrella is actually stationary. It's not moving up and down or anything else. Now right here is approximately when JFK was first shot in the back. That's frame 224. And then we start seeing him bringing his hands up right here. And we do see a little bit of blood right here on the side of his face, because his face is a little red right here in this section right here. Okay. Now we see Governor Connolly react. That's why I said, you know, films and stuff, there's a lot of things that these films hold and stuff. And it all depends what you're looking for. And you can find these answers when you start looking for it, you start studying reactions and everything else. And then when we go in here, this is frame 225, and then 226, we start getting a reaction from Governor Connolly. Remember, he's still looking off to his right, if you see right here. He's looking off to his right. He's reacting to something as JFK is bringing up his hands. And then we see disturbance in between the sun visors right here, as I pointed out. So something happened in this area right here by frame 227, because when we look at frames before that, we see there is no glowing in between there. But then when we go on to the 27, which we just passed up, see there's glowing right there, which something is pushing against the frame right here to make it push upward for it to glow, and then after that it goes back to normal in each one of the frames. Now, also like I said, after that shot occurred, right here is where JFK was shot in the back of the head. Now, when we watch this film and we see the reactions of him right here, see his arms. Like I said, when we look, let me go back one here. That's why I said when we watch Governor Connolly And we see him right here where he's reacting to something's passing by him. Now you see how he's all of a sudden looking over to his left? Because he's reacting because he's looking this way. Something's passing by his head and he's like this. You know what I'm saying? He's moving like that. That's called a reaction. That's why when we look at something like that, we got to mimic them reactions. Like, you know, you're looking over like this, you know, and all of a sudden something passes by your head. You feel something go like that. You go like this. And that's what he's doing. He's actually doing this. Okay, as we see in the film. That means something passes his head. You ever notice that when someone touches your shoulder or anything like that, you go like that, like behind you, or one thing or another? That's what people react to. Then we have JFK behind him. Okay, now see how his face goes forward a little bit. His arms come up and stuff like that when we see the bullet impact. Like I said, the bullet, we can see impact in the back of JFK's head, plus blood spatter coming out. But we see another reaction from JFK to where he's going like this now. He's going like this because his head he was just shot in the back of the head. And as you see, he's going more up. Now he's just starting to just pale over now. And as you see right here, something strikes the inside of his head right here because you see this mark right here. See how his face is starting to get a little deformity right here in this section here because something just struck in this area on the inside, but it did not exit. Like I said, when you watch these films, you start studying, you start analyzing it, you go over each frame, detail after detail. Now, as you notice, here's JFK's hands now starting to drop, and his head's being pushed over. Like his head's basically like he's like this, and also now he's like going like this, as we see in the film. And we see Governor Connolly grabbing a hold of the door now. Now he's trying to push himself around to the right to look out. And then next thing we know, when we watch the film, he gets shot right here in the side. We start seeing reaction on his face. He's just been shot right here. Okay, and that's why we start seeing reaction on Governor Connolly's face. And he's, as you notice, when he's turned like this, okay, here's the seat, he's turned like this. He's grabbed a hold of this, he's pushing over this way, and all of a sudden, he feels something's going like this. He's going back, into that, because he was just shot, so he's moving his waist and stuff over, because he was just shot in the right side. Like I said, a reaction tells you a lot. This is why this film holds a lot of evidence. Plus, everybody knows about the gunman. If you watch my cursor, the gunman right here, which we can see in here. Okay, we can see the gunman right here, which he takes his aim and shot and stuff, which I show that as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm showing what the frames and stuff showing us right here. Now you'll see Governor Connolly starting to look all the way around, but he's starting to look to his back now. Now he's trying to look at what's going on, as you see right here, because now Mrs. Kennedy's holding JFK's arm and stuff like that, but his other arm is already drooping down, and he's like turned like this, and then Governor Connolly, he's looking around, it's like what's going on, because he just felt a sting into his side, which was a bullet. And now he's starting, like I said, now he's looking to the back now. Now he's looking behind. He's looking at JFK, but he's looking behind at this point here. Now we see the babushka lady comes into play here. Okay, and as we watch her, she turns on the light right there, as you see right here. Here's where this is frame 289, and then frame 290, she turns on the light, as you see here. Now Governor Connolly's getting ready to start looking more over to the right now, because it's coming from look behind, looking over his right. The babushka lady turns on the light, as you see right there. It stays on now, especially it's a clearer shot right here, as you see right there. Okay, just like I said, these when you watch this film and stuff like that, you have a lot of questions that's being answered at the same time when you watch this film. Just like Jean Hill. Jean Hill says she was, they're staying out in the street. She's not out in the street because we can see right here is where the edge of the grass is, and we can see even right here that she's not even close to the edge of the grass area right here. She's got grass in between her. From here to here, there's grass and stuff. She's standing there. But remember, she's not looking at JFK. She's actually looking at the police officers that's behind him, as I point this out when I go into films and stuff like that as well, as I pointed out. Now, she looks at see with her right here. See, her head's not even turned towards JFK. Like I said, these films hold a lot of information in it, a lot of information. And as you see right here, Jean Hill is looking to the back. She's not looking at JFK. She's looking to the back. So there's no possible way she could see anybody take a shot from picket fence area because she's not even concentrating on that. Okay, now we're going to sit there and go a little bit further. All right. Now you see Governor Connolly, he was back like this for a moment because he was in pain. You know, when he was turning around, he's leaning back a little bit. When he's turning this way, he's leaning back a little bit because he's in pain. You know, because we can see he's pushing himself away from that door at the time. And again, as I point out here, now this is frame 305 of the Zapruder film. We see Mary Mormon, she's getting ready. She's still taking aim with her camera. She's getting ready to take her picture here. And then, as you see here, Jean Hill, watch, I'll bring it up here because I'm down here. Jean Hill is looking to the back. She's looking at this police officer on the motorcycle. She's not even looking at JFK's direction. You see Mary Mormon, she's pointing her camera at the direction of JFK, but Jean Hill is looking over at the police officer. So you see her story, that's why I talk about her story. When I watch films and images and stuff like that, and I try to line up somebody's story, and it doesn't match the films or the images that we see, it's kind of like, wait a minute, she's claiming she's looking at JFK the whole time. She sees a shot being fired from behind a picket fence, but in the films and images, as we watch the films and images, we see that she's concentrating on the police officers that's behind JFK's limo, not on JFK at all, as you see here. Now, as you see right here, Governor Connolly, this is frame 311. JFK is getting ready to get shot. Now we got this police officer over here looking this way. Jean Hill still looking at him. If you watch this, I'll zoom in right here. As you see right here, Jean Hill still looking at this police officer here. He's starting to look this way at Mr. Kennedy, but she's still looking right at this police officer right here. Mary Mormon is getting ready to snap her image. Now we're going to go the fatal headshot right here. As you see right here, shot strikes JFK in his temple right here, up in his temple area. Now, what happens here is this is exactly right here is where Mary Mormon took her image. Frame 316 of the Zapruder film. This is when she took her image. But we're also going to point out this too as well. Okay, see how Mrs. Kennedy is looking right here? And all of a sudden JFK gets shot in the head right here. And then you see her right here still. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, she drops her head down. See how she drops her head down? Keep an eye right in this location here. See how she drops her head down? Drops her head down. Because at this point, JFK was already shot again right here. As you see, it's running off here. Then we got that deformity right here. And then Mrs. Kennedy drops her head more. And we see more blood spatter coming out. See how it's just a mist now? And then we got more spatter coming out, blood spatter coming out, high spatter, you know, real thick blood spatter coming out, and she drops her head right there. That's because he was just shot again in the back of the head. However, the bullet just went through and struck the inside of the windshield. Okay, now you see Governor Connolly. He's looking still off to his right, and he's getting ready to start looking off to his left now. As you see here, he's starting to turn around to his left. And see how these guys right here they're going forward. Watch the guys in the front seat, how they're going forward now because that bullet just struck the inside the windshield there. So their reactions is, you know, they're feeling like somebody's shooting from behind them. So they're going forward. You see how both of them is going forward now. Okay, they're both going forward because that bullet struck the inside the windshield. That's the reaction we're getting from them, right along with Governor Connolly starting to turn off to his left, as we see here. And as he's turning off to his left, now we see the bullet impact in frame 330. We see the bullet impact into the back of Governor Connolly. As you see right here, the bullet actually impacted the back of Governor Connolly. Okay, so you see the impact? See how the bullet's sticking out like that? Then all of a sudden you see how it goes in? That's because of bullet impact. Now, when we go more into the film, we're going to find more evidence now. And what I mean by finding more evidence is I'm going to show you right here. As you see right here, there is a bullet hole. Whoops. Let's go back here. There is a bullet hole, which I'll zoom in. Let me try to zoom in here. It'll let me. Okay, if you watch my cursor, there's a bullet hole here with blood. So you see, remember when I pointed out Governor Collin was like this, when he was looking off to his right, and all of a sudden he felt like he was shot when he was looking off to his right, and he pulls over and stuff like that, because he was just shot in the right side, okay, which we can see right here. Now we see a bullet hole with blood right here on his right side of his jacket right here. So that backs up that shot to him. And then as we go along into this frames, we see there's a blood mark up here, blood, which is the bullet entering his back here. There's blood right there, and there's blood right here on the side. So he's got two spots with bullet holes. You got one up here with a bullet hole and blood around it. And you got another one on the right side here with a bullet hole and blood on it. And as you see here, the driver slowed down a little bit because Agent Hill was getting on there. The car did not stop. It just slowed down just a little bit for him to get on the back end so he can cover Mrs. Kennedy. Now we see this guy back here. He's falling to the ground. Here's Alt Jen standing right here getting ready to take some more pictures. Mrs. Kennedy now is trying to climb out to grab something. But people want to say, oh, she was handing off a gun. This is another story that people want to put up something, but that's just false claims. See how she didn't go back that far? In her hands, now she's starting to bring her hand back to herself. Right there, as you see right there. And Clint Hill is telling her to get back into the car. Okay. Now, like I said, after the fatal headshot, they're going to stop looking at the film and stop viewing the film. But I don't. I have to go in more details because I want to see what the whole film shows me. And as you see right here, this is frame 399. A bullet strikes right here on the side of the concrete on manhole cover. We see a piece of a disturbance right here on the side, and we see a piece of concrete flying up in the air right here. That's in frame 399 of the Zapruder film. Then we go back to it with the next frame, and as you see, everything's all normal again. Okay, it's all normal again. Then we go into frame 401. Now we're going to see a second disturbance, which is right here. See a piece of concrete flying upward, and we see a disturbance in the corner of the top of the corner of the concrete of the manhole cover right here. And then in the next frame, we see the bullet actually ricocheting upward right here, as you see right here. Now there's another bullet that ricochets right up in the air, and that's right here. And that's right here. But that was the shot that hit the side of the steps, which I go into more detail on that when I show over the shots. But this shot actually came from the gunman on the second floor of the county records building, while the other shots was from the rooftop of the county records building. And like I said, a lot of people don't go much details into it. Now what we're going to do is, when I go over this film, I look in this location right here. As you see, I look in this location right here. Okay, and you see there's nothing right in this location here that's glowing whatsoever. Then, when we go here, frame 413, we see a glow in this, which I'll zoom in. You see this glow here? That is actually another bullet strike inside the grass area right here. Now this occurs twice. This is frame 413, and then 414 we see another strike, which you see right here. I'll zoom in. Here's another streak right here. That's a bullet right here going into the grass area again, as I pointed out. Now we'll go to the next frame, and what we're going to do is here is we're going to show you before there is in that section. That's why I said when we look at this, we know there are bullet strikes there because we don't see no high glow in any of the frames before or after, only in the two frames that were two bullet strike in that area. This is the area where the bullets strike at. And as you see, there's nothing there for in the grass area to make it glow like we see in the frames. Same thing as we go into here I'm going to bring this up right now. If you watch this, you see this is the sign on a lamppost. As you see, there's nothing in the front or anything else to make it glow like we're about to see. Okay, that was the 2 shots of the grass area. Now right here. Now we know a bullet strikes again here. Now the reason why we know this is a bullet, because one, there's a high glow. And you see how it comes in, strikes the top center of the sign, but then it changes angles. As you see, it's not a straight mark, it's like a bent mark, which is like, let me grab this piece of paper here. If it was a straight mark, it'd be like this, right? But we see this, it's actually coming in and then going back out like that. There's a break in there, which is right here. That's that break. It's coming in and then it's going back out. So it's making a contact right here. So it's coming in. Say this is the sign right here. This is the top of the sign right here. Okay, this is the sign. The bullet striking right here. It's coming in, strikes in this location here, and then ricochets back off. So it's coming in and then ricocheting back off. That's what we're seeing here in this frame here. This is for 16 of the Zapruder film. And then when we watch the rest of the film, you know, we see the guys in the background moving around and stuff like that, going away, ducking, trying to get out undercover and stuff. And then we see JFK's limo is now starting to speed up more. There's the follow-up car. If you notice right here, like I said, there's that follow-up car right there. We see the follow-up car right here. We see if JFK's limo is here, which we don't see at the beginning of the Zapruder film, like I said, before they even turned down on Elm Street. So that's the car. That's the elite car right there. And then, as you see, he moved over so JFK's limo could pass. And again, we don't see nobody behind the picket fence area, as you see right there. Okay, there's nobody behind in the corner of the picket fence area where they claim James Files was, or Gumman takes a shot, where you don't see nobody around there, because here's the top of the picket fence right here, and there is nobody in that location. So you see, we just went over the Zapruder film frame by frame, and I pointed out a lot of things. Like, we're going to show this part here. Here again, we have the corner of the picket fence area. As you see, there is nobody there. There's nobody there whatsoever. We just went over the Zapruder film, and I'll show you things that can be seen in this film. I'll show you how important this film really is. People want to keep on pushing that issue of the Zapruder film has been altered. But look at how much information that this one film holds that people overlook because they're too concentrating on people saying, oh, well, the film has been altered, so let's not pay attention to this. Okay? But look how much we just, for us just viewing it, just right now, for us just viewing this film, look how many answers that we come up with. Okay? We came up with a lot of answers that no one didn't have the answers for years until we start viewing it ourselves. Just like we talk about the Umbrella Man. Okay, we see in the film that he was not moving his umbrella up and down as is portrayed by people today. It's portrayed by people today that this umbrella is being raised up and down, which we can see it's not being moving at all. It's still in the same location when you watch the Zapruder film. So this umbrella is not going up and down. So we know that person's story is false. Am I correct? This is what we look at. We're also going to look at JFK and Governor Connally being shot more times than what everybody says, because we are reactions of the people. Reactions of the people always tells you what's going on. And like I said, in the film, we can also see blood, a bullet hole and blood around it on Governor Connally's right side and on his upper back right here. And like I showed you, JFK being shot and everything else. Just like when we watch this, we see the gunman. We see the reflection of the gunman on top of the county records building. Okay. We have the babushka lady turning on a light. Okay, right here, which I'll show you right here. Here she is right here. Here's the babushka lady. She turns on a light. Right here. See that light? See, she turns on a light. Okay. Jean Hill says, hey, I seen, you know, in the beginning, she says, I heard the shots, but I didn't see where they come from. But then later on down the road, about to sneeze again, excuse me. And later on down the road, she goes ahead and says, oh, well, yeah, I see where the shots came from. They came from behind a picket fence. But we look at her story and we hear her story. But when we watch her reactions and stuff, she's not even paying attention to JFK. As you see here, she's too busy looking at the police officers behind JFK's limo. You see what I'm saying? She's looking at me. Mary Mormon is following JFK's limo with her camera, but Jean Hill is too busy trying to look at the officers that's behind JFK's limo. So you see, when we watch a film, we hear the stories, and then we watch it and we say, okay, well, her story's not matching what we're hearing. I mean, what we're seeing. She tells us this story, but we watch her staring at this police officer. So how could she tell if there was a gunman behind a picket fence taking a shot, because she's not even bothered paying attention, looking at JFK or even in his direction? She's too busy looking at the police officer. So you see, that eliminates her story. So we can't believe her story, what she's telling us. Just like the babushka lady. You know, why is she turning on a light for? Okay, the babushka lady, why is she turning on a light? Okay, no, we're never going to get that answer. We're never going to get that answer, because here's some fact is this. We have a lady out there claiming that she's the babushka lady, which she's been proven wrong, not only by me, but by other researchers have proved her wrong as well. But she's sitting there saying that she's the babushka lady. So see, that's what I'm talking about when we come up with false information. We got people giving false information out to these JFK researchers and stuff. They're basing everything that they're saying to them, and they're going to try to work around that, what they're telling them, okay, when all they're being told is lies. So I can't blame researchers. That's why I always tell people I can't blame the JFK researchers, because they're being fed false information. But as I point out here, you know, and there's a lot of things that the Zapruder film holds, a lot of information. Okay, now if the Zapruder film, if I was going to alter a film or alter an image or anything like that, especially the Zapruder film, there would have been a lot of things that would have been taken out of this. I really would have been. I've been taking out the extra shots. I would have took out the bullet hole on Governor Connolly's right side, because they knew what to look for. Believe me, they knew what to look for, because when they took off his jacket stuff, they see the bullet hole on his right side, and they see a bullet hole up on the back, but they took Governor Connolly's clothes and took him to the cleaners and had him fixed and repaired and cleaned. Okay, and they took him off easy. They didn't cut him off, which is surprising to me, but they did that so they could repair it. Okay, so they could repair that. So they knew there was shots, you know, in Governor Connolly's right side. So why didn't, if they was going to alter film, why didn't they go through this? Okay, through this film. These are the points I'm trying to make out to people, but people still don't want to understand. Why didn't they go through the Zapruder film and say, well, here we got the whole film that shows the whole assassination right here. So this is the main film we better work with so we can alter. So they're going to go through this frames here. Well, we know Governor Connolly was shot in the right side. So we're going to have to go to this frame right here, and we're going to have to cover up this bullet hole right here, because we don't want nobody seeing this bullet hole right here with the blood on it. So we're going to have to cover that up. Okay, so we're going to have to alter this frame here, but they didn't. That's the point of fact is they didn't, because they knew what to look for. Just like when they go to the manhole cover. Let's go to the manhole cover. Well, they knew bullets strike there. They knew they was retrieving bullets there and everything else. So why didn't they, like I said, why didn't they took out these frames, or like frame 399, why didn't they change that? Okay, why didn't they change that? Show you something. Here's how easy it would have to changed it. Okay, and I'm going to show you the difference. If I was going to alter film, okay, or take film, what we're going to do is we're going to right click for a moment. We're going to delete frame 399 because that shows a bullet. Now we're going to delete frame 401, and we're going to delete 402. Okay, as you see, I'm deleting it. You're seeing it. So we're going from as you see here, 398 to 400 to 403. Now we're not going to stop there, because we know a shot struck there, right? So what we're going to see now, this is what we're going to see if we just got done. What we just did, or what I just did, is I'm deleting frames from the film. Am I correct? As you just seen, I deleted them frames. Now we're going to take a look at this film with the frames deleted. Could you tell any difference? No, you could not tell a difference. You see? Only thing I just took out was the 2 strikes to the manhole cover. That's what I just took out. So you see what I'm saying? Now what we're going to do is we're going to go over here. Now we're going to take to the shot to the sign of lamppost. Okay, here's 415, 416, 417, right? What we're going to do is we're going to take out frame 416 now. Now we're altering. Now we are altering the Zapruder film. So now we're going to delete, take that frame out. Now we're going to see how that works. Here's frame 414, 415, 417, 418. See? No shots to the sign on the lamppost. No shots. You see? And it all blends in. So see, if I was going to alter a film, as you just saw me, I took out frames 399. I took out frame 401 and 402. I took out frame 416 because I want to hide them shots. You see what I'm saying? So if I was going to alter film, I would have took out them frames. I would never let them frames be still in this film. Okay, I would never let them frames be still in this film. But they are still there. And then all I had to do is just change the 400, change the numbers around a little bit because I'm changing numbers anyway. You would never know the difference. I just took out shots. You see what I'm saying? But the shots is always there. That's what I'm talking about when you're talking about altering films and when you're talking about altering images or anything else like that. If they was going to alter the Zapruder film, they should have done it the way I just showed you. Took out the frames, no one ever paid no one ever paid attention to it or know the difference at it. But them frames are still there. Just like when I sit there talking about Governor Connolly, the bull holder, Governor Connolly's side. Okay, he was shot in the right side. Why didn't they cover that up? They know 2 shots struck the manhole cover. Okay, why didn't they hide them images there? Why didn't they went over to Zapruder film, looking at that manhole cover, see if it could be safe, so we could take them frames out? They didn't do that. That's why this film was never altered in any way. That's why people want to keep on pushing this film being altered. But as I just showed you, we just went over this frame by frame of the Zapruder film. I'll show you what the evidence that this film holds. I just showed you, if I was going to alter a film, I just showed you what they could have done, and no one no difference, would they? So I just want to make this video here to point out there was no altering done into this film or any other films or any other images. People can say all they want and everything else. They can say this film was altered and everything, but it's not. Okay? Look how much information that this one film holds. Okay? They don't want to, that's why I said, when they can push out that frame, it's easy to make that claim. Hey, the film's altered, so we're just going to throw a whole film away. Okay? But look how much information that you're throwing away. Always in the description down below, you find a site where you can order my book, Evidence of Conspiracy, the only book you ever need in the JFK assassination. You also find a site where you can make a donation to GoFundMe account. For the documentary, $30 or more, you get your name and the credits, and you also receive a free DVD. And then, like I said, the more of a donation you make, the better return you'll get as well. So again, don't forget that like button, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to tell your friends about us, share this information and all the other information from my videos with your family, friends, relatives, other people on social medias and stuff like that, and everybody. Don't forget that like button, don't forget to subscribe now. And please, please have a pleasant day. Thank you.